Good morning guys and welcome to a new episode of the Tinkering Tom. It's cold, it's early in the morning, I woke up about 5 minutes ago, so if I'm a bit groggy I apologise. But today we're going to be crafting something, and at the moment we are in November, the tail end of November. I can't remember the exact date, in fact 26th of November it is. And the chances are, when you watch this video, it's going to probably be the back end of December or January. Either way, it's going to be after Christmas. And the reason for it is today we're going to craft something, and it's going to be Joe's Christmas present. Or one of the Christmas presents. And what it is Joe's really likes witches and wizardry and stuff like that. She loves Harry Potter, she loves anything magical. And I was like, you know what? I want to get some witch crafting stuff, and I like to go onto Etsy and have a look at what they've got to offer. And I typed in a potion box or something like that, something pretty cool. And I saw some, and they're really nice. They're very fucking expensive. So just to give you an idea of how expensive some of these can actually be, we've got this potion box right here. And at first I'm like, it's not too bad, but you just look at the size of that candle. It's a normal tea light candle, so this is a very tiny box, and we're already encroaching on £16. So then we look at this one, £73, and the size of it is 4x6, which is very small still, and that's £73. And I could go on, there's plenty more like that for examples, and I was like, I'm not willing to pay that amount of money. And also, I feel confident enough to be able to create something like that. So what we're going to do today is, well, I'm going to be doing it over several days. To you, it's going to be a short 20-minute video. But first of all, I'm going to try and build a box. I've not built a box before, and I've just been out and got some wood. It cost me £5, but I'll show you the wood in a minute. And also, what I've got is I've been on eBay, and I've been buying lots of things like this. So we've got the tiny little glass vials, and these was quite cheap. I can't remember the price of them. I think I may have paid £3 for about 20, which I think is pretty good value. I picked up a nice pack of black candles. Every time I went on the internet, it was too big, and I was like, it's got to fit inside a box. So I've picked some up and I've tied them together like that, which I think looks pretty damn cool. I've been also looking at random bottles, and I found this one. I think I paid £3 for it. I think it might have been an old gin bottle, and I've just filled it up with some just random liquid. It appears to be leaking. The cork, I think, has rotted over time, so we're going to have to glue that in place. But that's another cool bottle to go inside it. And also, I've picked up this, the Wikipedia, which is all about wizardry and witchcraft. What's it say? The Modern Day White Witch's Guide. So this, I think this cost me about £12, but the point is I've managed to put a big substantial piece in this present just by building it myself. So we're spending very little at the moment. But yes, this is a very nice piece to go in there. I've also been on the eBay and picked up some very nice latches to go on the front. And we've also got the hinges to go inside. I think this cost me a total of about £3. So everything really is costing me around about £3 marker. So now we're in the workshop then, and this is some of the stuff we've got. Got a couple of these sheets, two of the sheets under here that go all the way across, and this one piece on top. And I managed to get all this for £5 from my local wood supplier, just of offcuts. We've got this, which I'm going to fashion into a wand. Sadly, I'm going to have to make it a bit smaller. I think that's perfect one size. Look at that, that's some one skill right there. But it probably won't fit in the box at that size. And what we're going to do now is we're just going to try and see if I can make some holes to put these in and see how tight they actually sit, and work out if we're going to have some extra support for it or what. So I think I'll do that first. Right, we're going to start with the 23 and work our way down. Okay, that's the 22. Oh, that fits very nice. So I think I'm happy there. Right, I'm happy with that. That's the 22 hole. Fits in there quite snug. And I can actually turn it upside down and it doesn't come out. So, and it's only going to be turned, obviously, when the box is open like that and when it's shut like that. I'm confident enough that's going to do the job. which is perfect. So that is one job done. Right, we've worked out sizes. We're going to go with 32 by 23, which means I can get the base and the top on one piece, and then the other piece should be left just for the sides, so we should get it all out of one piece. At the same time, I'm not committing to the sides just yet, in case I cock one of these up, and then I can at least cut it out of that. So we'll see, but what I'm going to do is just set this now to 32, run it through, and then we should start having our first part of a box. I am very happy with that. That's perfect. We're going to risk it. I don't know how well it's going to work, but we're going to risk it. I don't know if you can see here, we've got a tiny nail sticking through this. So the idea is we're going to put this on here, perhaps tap it down a little bit, and then we're going to spin it. And hopefully get a perfect circle. Oh, famous last words. And it's cold, really cold in here. So I'm just going to mark the middle faintly because we want to get rid of this. This is going to be the inside at one point. But then again, if it gets a bit tattered, aged and scraped, it's not going to cause too much of a problem, is it? It's only going to help. So now we need to try and get that on that perfectly. I'm sorry if this is blurry, by the way. I can't check the camera and... So let's just do a test. So if that's there, I just want to see if I meet it again. Yeah, I do. That's perfect. Right, we need a setup now to be able to hold the soldering iron in place, or at least give me something to hold myself in place. Right, so we've got a monstrosity rig. I've got 4 screws in here to keep this in place, and I can control the up and down just by putting some weight on it. This is screwed into this, which is holding this, which is the pin, and we should be able to spin it around, hopefully causing a perfect circle. But we'll see. Please work. Right, I just stopped for a second to readjust. That spins through perfectly. I think I'm going to try and control it from this side. I'm very nervous. Very, very nervous indeed. Right, and I think if we pull it that way, yeah, do it that way so it pulls across the needle. Sorry if I get in the way of this, but getting this right is more important than you watching it. 3, 2, 1, and we've committed. And that's burning a lot better. I don't know if it's the wood or if this has been cooking for longer. I want to grab the next corner, but that means stopping for a second, which means the burn will be slightly stronger. No, we're okay. We've got a little bit of a lump in it, but these are witchers that made this box. It's not as if they spent a long time perfecting the craft. They just winged it. I'm umming and ahhing about going over a second pass, but then would that just be over the top? Now, this is nice. Okay, I might go around a second time because it seems like we've got a slight bit wider. Right, so this is where we just want to encourage it slightly to just come in left a bit. And we should then make a perfect circle. Just encouraging it a little bit now, a little bit more, and that's perfect. Wow. That is pretty damn impressive. Right, I made a ship protractor to try and draw this pentagram even. And I've done 2 little faint lines. You might not be able to pick them up. I'm trying to do it as light as possible because we're going to rub it out. So, going by what Google says, we need to draw several lines to get this right. Before we continue, we need to now get the most important tool. Where's that important tool? There it is, the most important tool. Sawdust is man glitter. To avoid any cock-ups, I've pinned this in place. So what I'm going to do is I'll do the first one, I'll record it, and then I'll do the other 5 off camera, because I'm not going to keep stopping, starting and moving it and potentially knocking over the camera while I'm panicking. So we're just waiting for it to get warm and enjoying more tea. Right, I might have to do 1 or 2 passes, just make it a bit more bolder. We'll get the first pass in. Voila! I am a happy chappy. So that is going to be the lid to our box, and that is looking very nice. Obviously we're going to stain it. I've also got some like corner pieces, metal pieces to go on the edges to give it a bit of flair, but that is potentially the hardest part of the box done. Okay, so what I'm doing now is I'm working out how tall the box is going to be. As I said earlier, it's going to be a 2-parter. There's obviously going to be stuff in the lid and stuff in the base. So the base has obviously got to be at least as big as this book. I'll probably give it an extra 5mm, maybe even 10. And then the top has got to be big enough to contain these, which is around about the same length of this piece of wood. Again, I'll probably give it an extra centimetre or so. So what I'm going to do is go with a box a little bit bigger than, about that wide, tall even. So yeah, let's measure up and commit to cutting more pieces of wood. Right, so 2 days have passed because I can't just sit in here all day, sadly. It's another cold morning, and today all I'm going to do is glue the box together, just so we can get it ready to start building the inside gubbins. As I said, I'm not a box maker, so I don't 100% know what I'm doing. I glued these together 2 days ago, just to see how strong it is. It's pretty damn strong. It works, but it did have 3 pieces, and I managed to snap this piece off. But that was using excessive force. Like, well, we'll unsnap this, look. Yeah, I don't think the box is going to go through that much strain. But I think I'm going to put some tacks in it, just to make it a bit stronger. Let's try and glue this together, and what I'm going to do is build the box completely whole. And then once it's built, I'm going to then run it through the table saw and split it into 2. That way, I know the top and the bottom will meet perfectly. So now we need nails. We've got some tacks in there. Got some... Yeah, I think that's overkill. So I've just set that to the depth of that, so I know where a nail should be. Right, I've just quickly ran and got some scrap paper from an Amazon package, and also a straw. I'll bring you in a little tip that I saw. You got these glue marks? 1 little straw. You gotta push it right in the corner. Oops. Voila. Not only does it take the glue off, but it actually keeps it inside the tube. So you haven't got a mess. Right, that's got rid of that edge a lot better now. So I'm a happy chapper. Some of these nails are protruding, but I've got a nail punch, so I'll use that in a minute. But she's looking good. Right, we're on a new day, and we are going to do a daunting task. We are now going to cut this in half. Right, I've just noticed the first problem I'm actually going to run into. I took this guard off here earlier because it was something I was running through was banging it, but I've realised even keeping this on there, when I run the box through, the box is going to cut as deep as this, and obviously it's going to hit that and stop dead. So we're going to have to dismantle this to actually take this part off. Right, so I've set it all up. I've reinforced the fence so there's no wobble in it. That's the perfect height. So now we're going to push this through. Let's tie you onto the back of something. Wish me luck. So this is what we have to use until I actually get a proper vise. I'm gonna have to use a couple of clamps to just shave a little bit off this. Right, that's shaved down perfectly now. I still got to do the other one, but the question is now, how many holes are we actually gonna put in? I think I want to put enough space for a finger and a thumb either side, so you can grab the actual potion out of it. So I'm gonna work out what that is, see how many we can fit in there, and then run it through this and hope we do it right first time so I don't have to keep cutting these down to the perfect length. Okay, we've got the lines out and we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is all good. At first I was going to go with 6, it looked a bit sparse, so I've gone with 8, they're equally spread out. Took me a bit of time to work out the mass for it, but all is done, so that's one, I need to do another. But before we commit to that and start drilling it, I'm just going to do a test one on this piece of wood here, because I want to know how deep we're going to go, because obviously I can set it on here so we can make every single one the exact height. So I just want to know how deep each one will be, so let's do a little test run. As they always say, 4th time's the charm. I don't think it's greater than... Oh, it is. Joe's coming. You best not be coming in here, woman. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's perfect. That's not even coming out at all. Voila. Alright, now do a quick test. The thing is with some of these, I believe there might be tiny bits out in size. So the ones that aren't snug, we can see snug, not snug, snug, not snug, not snug. Same one I just picked up. Yeah, we just have to go through and find the perfect ones. But either way, let's just put that one in for test purposes. Yeah, that looks spot on. Right, so that's 2 rows of them in there, and I've just made a couple of little chocks. These are 8.5 or 85 millimeters, if you want to use it that way, which is just the perfect space between both compartments, which I'm just going to wedge in there just while I glue it, clamp it, and then I'll rip them back out, because I know if I forget to rip them out, I'll probably never be able to pull them back out again. So let's glue this up. And just making sure it all fits with the right height. I can sand a bit off the top if needed later, but I don't think I should do. Perfect. Right, let's get her in place. In you go. I've just put some glue in between you and what I was doing, didn't I? So you couldn't see me do it. I think that's going to be fine, but I'm still going to put a clamp on it because I've got clamps. And you know what they say when you got clamps? Clamp! That's right. Just one on there to just hold her in place. Put that in there. Yeah? Come in. That's the sound of dinner being done. Right, so this is now all glued in. It's been in here about a week because I hadn't had a chance to continue. And what I want to do now is I've just been and got a load of sandpaper. I got it from Amazon. I don't know what grit I want, so I've ordered all the way from 10 billion grit all the way down to -1 million. So some of these are quite coarse, some of them are super smooth, they're pretty much like silk. So I'm just gonna sand this down and get it ready to go. Right, this has all been sanded now. I found a few little cracks around the edges that I could fill in, and I'll be here forever and a day trying to top this box up. It's a witch's box, it's rustic, we're gonna go for it. So let's get our first bit of paint on the box. It is all clean, isn't it? Yeah, we'll find out. We're committing. You ready? Here we go. Please don't cock up. And to be fair, it's actually helping hide the nails away, because the nails being silver on the quite bright wood made it visible. Now they're hidden away a bit more. Right. Alright, so we've left that a day to dry now and it's looking good. Got a few marks on here. I can only assume that's glue. I know I got a bit of glue on it and I tried to sand it down the best I could. But it appears to come through again. Again, we'll put it down. It's vintage. It's part of the character. And also, I beg your pardon if you can see my dirty clothes. I've had a fight with Jess this morning over toothpaste, so I'm covered. But I think I'm going to do the same approach of doing that because it went on nicely. But I don't know how well it's going to get inside the crevices. So I've got this tiny little brush as well to try and get it in there. So we'll see how we go. But let's... Yeah, I think that's going to be the way. Annoying and time consuming. But probably the only way around it. I ain't got to get it all the way in the top because you're not going to be able to see it. I just want to make sure it's actually got it in the holes where you can see. Right, that's now all stained. Right, the stain is dried and it is looking good. Got that little mark on there. There's not much we can do about it. I've also taken the time to glue the actual edges on. I quickly did it because daylight is burning quickly at the moment. We ain't got long before Christmas, so I picked some glue up yesterday, quickly ran in, glued them on. They're absolutely rock solid. So the next job is to get some of the actual hinges and bits and bobs on there if we can find them all. I've chucked them somewhere. Right, so let's try and get these on and turn it into a box that opens. Right, so there's the hinges looking pretty nice, and I've just set it to, I don't even know what I've set it to, but I've measured it there just so I can replicate it on the actual other side. So I'm just going to pre-drill some holes ready for these super tiny screws. Right, I've just clamped the box in place so it doesn't wiggle. Right, looking good. Acting more like a box now. Lovely jubbly. And now we have a nice little latch to lock it up. Right, I want to test, see what it looks like with a bit of this in it, see if it sells the story in the book. So yes, that's what it's going to look like once it's done. Need to still put labels on the bottles, and obviously we need to do a few rows of these actual bottles, but it is looking pretty damn good. Just need to make sure we ain't got bits of straws sticking out for when Joe opens it. But I think that's pretty cool. At last, we have now moved indoors because most of the work is done. So it's time to make a load of these. I've got all them. I need to run around the house now and try and find random objects to put in it, and then we're going to make some labels. Cup of tea, anybody? Everywhere. Well done. Time for a bit of beard shampoo. Oh crap. That didn't go in as I wanted it to. This is going to be hard to... Oh! This isn't working, is it? I think we're okay. There we go. Okay, mission accomplished. We've managed to run around, and every time I tried to fill one of these up, Joe came into the kitchen or the bathroom. She's like, "What are you doing? Shut up." So I've got some like tiny little stones in them, some leaves, some dried moss. That is oregano or something like that. That is the heads of this, what I've ripped off. I think that's tea. Obviously got some wood chip in there, sugar, soap, powders, that's some ash actually come out of the fireplace, mouthwash, that's that beard one that I've just done. Yeah, there's a mixed bag of stuff in there. So the next thing I want to do now is look at making some labels. Right, so that's the mock-up of what the actual labels are going to look like, and what I'm doing is just making up random names for each different one, such as like snail mucus, and that's the snail mucus one. And what I'm doing is I'm just going onto Google and typing in whatever it is, a snail, and then the word drawing, finding hand-drawn items and then putting them in, because they're looking a lot more authentic in my opinion than an actual real picture of a snail. So I need to now make, how many, 16 more different ones and come up with random names for every different potion that's inside that box. Now we have the joys of gluing all these on. So we've got a right mixture in there. We've got some slug mucus, we've got some cave grit, ashes of the dead, unicorn blood, troll blood, coffin shavings, doxy venom, unicorn blood, dry death cap, a bit of everything in there. So let's start cutting them out. So they're in, and I have to say, that's looking pretty damn good. I'm very happy with it. The cool thing is, as I was actually gluing them in, the paper yellowed a little bit more, which has made it look more aged. So yes, that's looking pretty damn good. Next thing we've got, oh, I've also added a little string onto the side for actually opening it and stopping it where it is. I need to make another label for this, well, not another label, the first label for this, but also it appears to be leaking a little bit because this is a very old cork on the top. I think it was a gin bottle, so I'm thinking I'm going to try and glue inside, then put the cork back on. I might even put wax over the top of it, so let's address that issue first. Alright, I don't know if this is going to work or not. Just trying to get as much in there with that. Then it dripped down. Okay, that's one line in. This might work. Yeah, this is working. That's what we like to see. Put a bit more in. Cut her off. That would do. And then stick this cork back in. And give it a little twist. Yeah, I think that's made me happier. I still might dip it in wax. I like the idea of wax dripping off it. Let's have a look, see if we can do it. At this moment in time, this room is completely trashed, but just to give you an idea how much of a crafty bugger I am. Look, this is mine. You would think this might be Joe's. This is all my crafting bits, and because we're going to go to do some waxing, we just need to go to my waxing kit that I've got all ready to rock and roll. I love tinkering with bits like this, so let's get one of these burning. Right, so we're just melting up some wax at the moment. I don't know how I'm going to drip it around this. It could go wrong, but we've winged a few of them and they've worked so far, so we're going to try and wing this as well. Incredibly nervous now. I don't know if to dump it on the top or around the edges. I might go around the edges and then a dump on the top after. I think that's going to be the best bet. Right, wish me luck. Right, so we just want that to drip down the sides and just dry out a little bit. Dunk it all over this top. So there's the final product. I actually quite like that. It looks very potion-like. It's been sealed, so once it's been opened, you know that someone's been in it. Very cool. That's another one done and dusted. Alright, as you can see there, that's already starting to come through the cork. I don't know if it'll be enough to drip, but some of these are actual oils, and once they get on the actual cover, it knackers them. So we are going to try and drip some wax on it and hope we don't cock them up. It's a fine art of blowing on these just to try and make sure it covers all the bases, but I personally believe now that's not going to spill, and I think that most certainly is added to it. It looks pretty damn cool now, so yeah, we're going to do it for the rest of them. I won't record it because, oh Jesus Christ, we've got a little fire. For some reason the wax has caught fire. That is not good. Oh no. So I think I'm done. All the wax is on, which is nice. It makes me feel confident it's not actually going to drip, and I also do think it adds to it. I really like how some of them drip over the actual labels, so that's all done. This I've just wrapped round it now because I chucked it in the hay and it kind of blended in with the hay and disappeared, so you can't actually notice it quite well. So I've put it up there, and also when you open the box it's nicer, it just shows itself off there, and I've just chucked the crystalline loose. I was going to make that wand. I went outside and tried. The stick is thinner than the actual crystal, my voice just went then. It's touching the crystal, it's possessed me. Anyhow, it didn't look quite right. And also, I've actually picked up a Harry Potter wand. It's down there. There's a Harry Potter wand in all this mess. So I'm not going to give her 2 wands. So I've just chucked a loose crystal in there. We've got the Skelly Grow, just in case she breaks her arm, she can grow it back. And she's got her encyclopedia for all her witch knowledge. So I think we can call that done now. And that is her Christmas present sorted. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. I can only apologise if it's super long. I don't know if it is or not because I haven't edited it down. In the future, when I actually start doing crafting items, the chances are I'll actually go into the workshop and go, today I'm going to build this, and just do a 2-day build, which makes it quite easy. That was a case of me on and off in for about a month. So the thing is, when I grab the camera, I might start talking loads and loads of crap, put it down, 2 weeks later pick it up, speak loads more crap, and it just bulks out the videos a bit too much. But we'll see, I don't know when we're editing it down. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope Jo enjoys her present. Thank you very much for watching.